It's the 20th of the month. You got paid on the 1st, and you open your banking app, and you just stare at it because the number looking back at you makes absolutely no sense. Like, where did it go? You didn't buy anything crazy, you didn't go on a vacation, you didn't make any big purchases, but somehow, some way, the money is just gone. And the worst part? This isn't the first time. This happens every single month, like clockwork. And every month you tell yourself the same thing: next month I'm going to be better. Next month I'll track my spending. Next month I'll save more. Next month will be different. But then next month comes and it's the exact same story. If that sounds like you, I need you to stay right here, because today we're going to talk about exactly why this keeps happening. And it is not because you're bad with money. It is not because you don't earn enough. And it is definitely not because you're lazy or irresponsible. The real reasons are way more specific than that, and once you see them, you literally cannot unsee them. So let's get into it. Let's start with the very first reason, and this one is going to sting a little. Ready? You don't actually know where your money goes. Now, before you say, yes, I do, hear me out. Most people have a general idea. Rent, food, phone bill, car. But that's not the same thing as actually knowing. There's a massive difference between knowing your rent is $1,200 and knowing that last month you spent $340 on food delivery, $87 on subscriptions you forgot about, $210 at random stores, and $65 on things you can't even remember buying. See, the problem isn't the big stuff. Most people have the big stuff figured out. Rent, utilities, car payment, you know those numbers. The problem is the small stuff, the invisible spending, the $12 here, the $8 there, the random $25 that you don't even remember. And here's the thing about small purchases. They feel harmless in the moment because individually they are. $8 for a coffee feels like nothing. $12 for lunch feels like nothing. A $15 online order feels like nothing. But when you add up all the nothings at the end of the month, it is very much something. Think of your bank account like a bucket of water. The big bills, rent, car, insurance, those are like big holes in the bucket. You can see them, you know they're there. But the small daily purchases, those are tiny pinhole leaks all around the bottom. And you don't notice them because each one is so small. But all those tiny little holes together, they drain the bucket just as fast as the big ones, sometimes faster. So the very first thing you need to do, and I mean before anything else, is actually look at your bank statement. Not to stress yourself out, not to beat yourself up, just to see. Print it out or pull it up on your phone and go through every single transaction from last month. Categorize everything. Food, transport, entertainment, subscriptions, random. I promise you, you will find money you had no idea you were spending every single time. Okay, reason number 2, and this one is a big one. You're spending first and saving whatever's left, and whatever's left is usually nothing. This is how most people approach money, and it is completely backwards. Here's how it typically goes. You get paid, the bills come out, and then you think, okay, whatever I have left, I'll save. But then life happens. You need gas, you grab dinner because you're tired, a friend's birthday comes up, something breaks, and by the time you get around to saving, there's nothing left to save. And you know what? That's not a willpower problem. That's a system problem. You have been set up to fail by your own process. Because when you save last, saving becomes optional. It becomes whatever is left over. And there is always something to spend money on before you get to saving. Let me give you a simple illustration. Imagine you have a jar of water. That's your paycheck. And you have 2 smaller jars, one for savings, one for spending. If every month you pour everything into the spending jar first and then try to move some to savings, you'll always find reasons to keep it in the spending jar. But what if the moment that water comes in, you immediately pour a portion into the savings jar first before you touch anything else? Now your spending jar has less in it, yes, but that savings jar is actually growing. That's the whole concept behind pay yourself first. The moment your paycheck hits, a portion goes to savings immediately, not at the end of the month, not when you feel like it, first. Before bills, before groceries, before anything, even if it's just $50 or $100. The amount matters less than the habit, because what you're doing is training your brain to live on what's left instead of spending everything and hoping there's something left to save. Okay, reason number 3, and honestly, this might be the most powerful one on this list. Lifestyle creep is eating your money and you don't even know it's happening. Let me explain what lifestyle creep is, because it sounds fancy, but it is so simple. Lifestyle creep is when your income goes up and your spending goes up at exactly the same rate, so you never actually get ahead. Think about it. Remember when you first got your job and you were making less than you are now? You survived. You paid your bills. You managed. Then you got a raise. And slowly, almost without even noticing, your life got more expensive. You upgraded your apartment. You started eating at nicer restaurants. You started buying better things. You started saying yes to things you used to say no to. And now, even though you're making more money than you've ever made, you still feel just as broke as you did before. That is lifestyle creep. And it is sneaky because none of those upgrades feel wrong. You worked hard. You deserve to enjoy your money. And that's true. You absolutely do. But if every single raise and every single increase in income gets immediately absorbed by an increase in your lifestyle, you are running on a treadmill, moving fast, getting nowhere. Here's a rule that wealthy people actually use. It's called the 50% rule of raises. Every time your income increases, you only allow yourself to spend 50% of that increase. The other 50% goes straight to savings or investing. So if you get a $500 a month raise, $250 goes into your life, maybe a slightly nicer apartment or a better gym, but the other $250 goes straight into building your future. That way you enjoy the raise and you actually build something with it, instead of wondering where it went 3 months later. Now, let's talk about reason number 4, because this one lives in your phone. Your subscriptions are robbing you on a schedule, and you gave them permission. Okay, let's play a game. Right now, without looking at anything, try to name every single subscription you're currently paying for. Go ahead, think about it. Did you get them all? I'm gonna bet you didn't, because most people forget at least 3 or 4. And here's why. Subscriptions are specifically designed to be forgettable. They're small, they're automatic, they don't ask for your permission every month. They just quietly take money from your account on the same day every month, like a very polite thief. You've got streaming services, Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, maybe HBO, maybe Apple TV. You've got music, Spotify, Apple Music. You've got the gym membership you signed up for in January and have been to twice. You've got the app you downloaded and forgot about that's been charging you $9.99 every month for the past year. You've got Amazon Prime, iCloud storage, maybe a news subscription, a food app subscription, a beauty box, and individually they all feel small. $8, $12, $15. But add them all up, and a lot of people are spending anywhere from $150 to $300 a month on subscriptions, every single month, automatically. Here is what I want you to do. Go to your bank statement, the same one from earlier, and highlight every single recurring charge, every one. Then ask yourself honestly, am I actually using this? Is this actually worth what it costs me? For each one. And cancel every single one that doesn't get a strong yes. Not a maybe, not a I might use it, a strong, confident yes. You will free up real money, money that was just silently leaving your account every month while you slept. Reason number 5, and I want you to really sit with this one. You're spending emotionally, and emotional spending is one of the most expensive habits you have. Here's what emotional spending looks like in real life. You had a long, exhausting day at work. You come home drained, and instead of sitting with that feeling, you open Amazon and just browse. And somehow, an hour later, you've ordered things you didn't even know you wanted until 5 minutes ago. Or you're bored on a Sunday, and suddenly you're online shopping. Or you're stressed, and you go get food, not because you're hungry, but because eating something good feels like the one thing you can control right now. Or you're sad, and you treat yourself to something nice because you deserve it. None of that is weakness. All of that is human. But here's the expensive truth. Using spending as an emotional outlet is one of the fastest ways to drain a bank account, because emotions don't have a budget. When you're shopping to feel better, you're not thinking about whether you can afford it. You're thinking about how it makes you feel right now, and right now is very expensive. There's actually something called the emotional spending cycle. It goes like this. You feel a negative emotion. You spend to feel better. You feel better for about 20 minutes. Then you feel guilty about spending, which makes you feel worse, which makes you want to spend again. It's a loop, and it costs you money every single rotation. The fix is not to never treat yourself. The fix is to create what I call a pause and purpose rule. Before any non-essential purchase, you pause. 24 hours for anything under $50, 48 hours for anything over $50. And during that pause, you ask one question. Am I buying this because I actually want or need it? Or am I buying this because of how I feel right now? That one question alone will save you hundreds of dollars every month, because a lot of what we buy in emotional moments, we don't actually want once the emotion passes. Okay, we're at reason number 6, and this one is about something most people never even consider. You have no buffer, and without a buffer, every small emergency becomes a financial disaster. Here's what I mean. Life is not predictable. Things happen. Your car needs a repair. Your phone screen cracks. You get sick and miss a few days of work. The electricity bill is higher than usual. These are not rare, dramatic emergencies. These are just life. Normal, boring, predictable, unpredictable things that happen to everyone. But here's what happens when you have no savings buffer. That $400 car repair, which is annoying but manageable, becomes a crisis because you don't have $400 sitting anywhere. So you put it on a credit card. Now you have $400 of debt that's going to cost you more than $400 by the time you pay it off because of interest, or you borrow it, or you scramble. And that scrambling bleeds into the rest of your month. Suddenly, your whole financial month is thrown off because of one unexpected $400 expense. People with even a small emergency fund, even just $500 or $1,000 set aside and untouched, experience that same $400 car repair completely differently. It's annoying, they pay it, they move on. They refill the buffer over the next month or two. It doesn't derail them. It doesn't create debt. It doesn't cause stress that bleeds into every other financial decision that month. The emergency fund is not a luxury. It is the foundation. Without it, you are one small inconvenience away from financial chaos every single month. And financial chaos, the stress, the scrambling, the borrowing, the debt, costs you money on top of the original problem. So building even a small buffer, even if it takes a few months, is one of the most important things you can do. Reason number 7, and this is the one nobody wants to talk about. The people around you are influencing your spending more than you realize. This is not about blaming your friends or your family. This is about being honest with yourself, because the truth is, our spending is deeply social. We spend based on the people around us, the environments we're in, and the lifestyles we're surrounded by, more than we like to admit. Think about it. When your friends are going out every weekend, it feels weird to say no every single time. When everyone at work orders lunch, eating the food you brought from home starts to feel awkward. When the people around you are getting new things, upgrading their lives, showing off new bags and new cars and new vacations, there's a very human, very natural pull to keep up, to not fall behind, to not look like you're struggling. And social media makes this 10 times worse, because social media is everyone's highlight reel. You're comparing your everyday to everyone else's best moments. The vacations, the dinners, the outfits, the bags, the new apartments. And what you don't see is the credit card debt behind the vacation, the financial stress behind the designer bag. The person who looks wealthy online who is actually 2 missed paychecks from real trouble. There's a term for this. It's called social spending. Spending not because you want or need something, but because your environment makes you feel like you should. And it is one of the quietest, most consistent leaks in people's finances. The fix is not to isolate yourself or never go out. The fix is to get really clear on your own values and your own goals. When you know what you're building toward, when you have a real reason to say no, saying no gets a lot easier. You stop spending to fit in and start spending based on what actually matters to you. And that brings us to reason number 8, the final one, and honestly the most important. You don't have a plan, and money without a plan always disappears. Here's the simplest way I can put it. If you don't tell your money where to go, it will find somewhere to go on its own, and you will not like where it ends up. Most people treat their money like this. It comes in, they pay what needs to be paid, and then they spend whatever's left on whatever comes up. No intentionality, no direction, just reactive. And reactive money management is why so many people are working hard, earning decent money, and still feeling like they have nothing to show for it at the end of every month. A budget is not a punishment. I know that word makes people nervous, like it means you can't enjoy your life or you have to count every penny. But a budget is just a plan. It's just you deciding in advance where your money goes, before it arrives and before the temptation to spend it randomly kicks in. When you have a plan, every dollar has a job. This dollar pays rent. This dollar goes to savings. This dollar is for food. This dollar is for fun. Yes, fun has a place in a budget. And when your fun money runs out, it runs out. You don't touch anything else. The most powerful thing you can do starting this month is sit down before the month begins and write down every dollar you expect to earn and every place you plan for it to go. Income minus expected expenses equals 0. Every dollar has an assignment. This is called zero-based budgeting, and it is one of the most effective money management methods there is. Not because it's complicated, it's actually incredibly simple. Because it puts you in the driver's seat. You're not reacting to your money anymore. You're directing it. So let's bring it all together. Why do you keep running out of money before the month ends? Because you don't actually know where it's going. Because you're saving last instead of first. Because every raise you get gets eaten by a lifestyle upgrade. Because your subscriptions are quietly draining your account every month. Because you're spending emotionally more than you realize. Because one small emergency throws your whole month off. Because the people and environments around you are pulling your spending in directions you haven't even noticed. And because you don't have a plan, so your money just goes. None of this makes you bad with money. None of this means you're a failure. It means you were never taught this. Most of us weren't. We were taught how to get a job, how to earn money, but never what to actually do with it once it arrived. And that gap in education is costing people real money, real opportunities, and real peace of mind every single month. But here's the thing. Now you know, and knowing is where it starts. You don't have to fix all 8 things at once. Pick one, just one. Maybe it's finally looking at your bank statement and seeing where your money actually went last month. Maybe it's canceling 3 subscriptions today. Maybe it's setting up an automatic transfer of even $50 into savings the day after you get paid. One thing, this month, and then next month add another one. Because building wealth isn't about one big dramatic move. It's about small, consistent, intentional decisions made over and over again. That's how it actually works. Not overnight, but over time. And it starts right now. I'm Zara, and we're just getting started.